So Ubisoft was like, hey, you know those IPs that we've been milking harder than a cow in a farming sim? All right, guys, I got some spicy news. I'm sure you already have heard about this. All the YouTubers are probably making videos about it, but it's time to have a little bit of a laugh. Lately on X, the person or team that's running the X account for Assassin's Creed Shadows, they like to be snippy. They like to kind of clap back, get those likes in, own the chuds. But real quick, before we get into this video too much, what are the chuds? Let's send it to my on the scene reporter and get his input on what the chuds are.
What does chud mean? A chud is like a guy that complains a lot about DEI and modern audience gaming, basically, right? Like a low information, low intelligence, right-wing leaning person who doesn't really know what they're talking about, but doesn't really like, minorities in video games or something like that, right? And like this is obviously like a caricature, but that's what the term is being used for, right?
Thanks to our own scene reporter, Asmongold. I appreciate the definition of chuds. Man, he did a good job there. Hopefully he doesn't spaz out. Sometimes he tends to do that. Very based at times, spaz at times. Hopefully he holds up throughout the rest of this video. Now, you may ask why that definition is important. Well, it's important because knowing the words that the other side is using to belittle you gives you a little bit better of an understanding of the type of people that you're dealing with. These are the games journalists, the grifters on X, the people who, for whatever reason, support DEI, or they just want to engagement farm. So they're taking a side that's going to be very controversial and get a lot of engagement clicks. Grifters. These people, they don't care whether Assassin's Creed Shadows succeeds. They just want to own the chuds. That's why you see all these reviews, talking about, it's a return to form for Assassin's Creed Shadows again. All these reviews, there was one reviewer who gave Assassin's Creed Shadows 100. But then in the first line of the review stated there were problems with the game. How does that make any sense? So you have these people glazing it. Then you have other people who are praying for it to fail, mainly because they don't like what Ubisoft has come to represent. The poor quality of games they have put out time after time after time over the last, 5 to 6 years? People could see this coming a mile away. Now, the success of Assassin's Creed Shadows was not going to change what happened. And what happened is Ubisoft sold off. So Ubisoft was like, hey, you know those IPs that we've been milking harder than a cow in a farming sim? Let's put them in a nice little box, slap a $4 billion price tag on it, and let Tencent have it. I mean, I get it. Times are tough. Star Wars Outlaws flopped harder than the Stormtroopers' aim, and Assassin's Creed Shadow probably made more money from the controversy than it did from sales. So what do? You hold a corporate garage sale. One slightly used Assassin's franchise comes with parkour and 47 DLCs. Any takers? Now let's talk about the big T, Tencent. They're dropping 1.16 billion, which is about a week's worth of WeChat sticker sales? They get 25% of this new subsidiary, while Ubisoft gets to keep the wheel and pretend that it's still in charge. It's like when your parents sell the house, but tell you they're just renting it back for the vibes. Yves Guillemot, fuck man, I hate these French names. He's out here calling it a new chapter. Bro, it's a new chapter where Tencent's the ghostwriter. But here's the kicker. Ubisoft is telling us this is to strengthen their balance sheet and unleash creative potential. Translation, we're broke and our ideas are as stale as last week's baguette. This is the corporate equivalent of pawning your Xbox off to pay the rent. And Tencent is sitting there with their wallet out saying, don't worry, fam, we'll make it rain. So gamers, I understand you may be worried about what this means for you. But lately, games coming out of China have been really good. We've been eating well. With like Black Myth Wukong as an example, they've been doing a good job of putting out good games. And there's several more examples of games that are going to be coming out. And if they live up to the hype that has been generated from the trailers that have been shown of these games, I think we'll be eating good for a while. Now, I understand there are some concerns about censorship. So I'm going to send it to my on-the-scene reporter, Asmongold, so that he can give us a little bit of what he thinks about this situation. Hopefully he holds it together, but we'll see.
Oh, China bad! China bad! We are all okay with China basically owning the gaming market. I'm not okay with China owning the gaming market. Oh, China bad! China bad! And I think that it's very fair to be critical and worrisome about the fact that China is exercising true soft power by indirectly enforcing Chinese censorship into international games. Oh, China bad! China bad! And I think this is a very important conversation to have as Americans and Westerners at how we process this and how we respond to it.
Whew. He pulled it together. I thought he was about to lose it there for a second, but he pulled it together. Thanks, Asman. I appreciate it. So there you have it, folks. Ubisoft's big IP sale with Tencent as the highest bidder. Now, will this save the company or turn our favorite franchises into glorified slot machines? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more content and hopefully more gaming streams. Till next time, keep your wallets ready and your expectations low. Have a good one.